Hello everyone, my name is Kathy McKenzie and this is my gift to you. I'm going to talk to you about connection and I'll give you a bit of my background first. First, if the actual environment that I'm in seems a bit strange, it's because I'm roving around Tasmania at the moment, reconnecting with my own energy on holidays. It's been a while since I had a good break. So connection, I'm going to relate to it in terms of connection to yourself. And for me, this last few weeks has just been connecting in nature, and I've done some absolutely incredible hikes in Tasmania. Probably my highlight was Maria Island, and just the beauty of being able to get back to simplicity, where it's just walking and then relaxing in the evenings and just enjoying connection with other people. So when we talk about connection, a bit about my business. I run a registered training organisation, and we have a diploma of leadership coaching and mentoring. But that course, the essence of it is about how do we better connect with people? How do we keep becoming more self-aware ourselves so that we are listening to others to connect, so that we're not judging others, and so that we're allowing others to communicate to us how they feel, and be able to understand and appreciate that others don't have to have the same opinions as us for us to be still connected. So Cynthia's was introduced to me through a connection. Now, sorry if I'm a bit unprofessional today, but I am still out roaming on holidays. But Cynthia and I met a few years ago through one of our mutual connections, Marianne Martin, and I think that's one of the great things that for busy people, having healthy networks and healthy connections means it's easier for you to get referrals or to get advice or get support when you need it. My three key things around connection would be about listening to connect. So in relationships, until we actually learn otherwise, and I remember for me, my first role was as a nurse, and so I was very young and very immature in terms of understanding other people, so it came from my own point of view. And it wasn't until I reached my early 30s and had the opportunity to study neuro-linguistic programming and did some tools like Strength Finder a bit later on, that I realized that connecting is so much about us learning not to come from our own point of view, and not to be looking at others with an expectation that they share our viewpoint or our values. So connection's about really listening to other people to, at a deeper level, discover their values, what's important to them, and to recognize how you can communicate back to them in a way that's non-threatening. One of the best things I've done this year has been a course called Conversational Intelligence with Judith Glazer. And the essence of that course is around listening to connect, but being intelligent in conversations and understanding what creates threat in a conversation. So those times when we inadvertently do it and we don't deliberately do it, and this time of the year when there's lots of social gatherings is often when people start on a topic about something and don't recognize that they've hit someone else's triggers. And so for us as busy women, we need to start to make sure that our communications are successful, because the more we listen to connect and the more positive energy we have in our relationships, the less time we spend having to repair those relationships or having to go back over ground when we've inadvertently upset someone or broken rapport. So every time we inadvertently create threat in a conversation, it releases cortisol. And if we're constantly in conversations that are stressed, so if we're in negative personal relationships or we're in negative work relationships, that Lack of connection in relationships means that we're constantly releasing cortisol into our system, which provokes physiological responses from our body. So we have higher blood pressure, an increased pulse, and over time, that continual stress has a real impact on your physical well-being. So healthy human connections are absolutely essential for healthy well-being. And I know that I do work in a lot of government organisations, and some parts of those organisations can be very positive, but then it can find pockets where there's really toxic energy and the connection between people is really poor. And you'll notice patterns in that that create that toxic culture. So people feel excluded. People feel like they're dominated over in conversation, that someone's always overriding or having a stronger opinion about things, or they're being criticised or judged. So for us to have great connections, we've really got to be paying attention to ensuring that the person that we're communicating with doesn't feel judged, doesn't feel excluded, or that we haven't dominated the conversation in such a way that we actually haven't discovered what they already know. So my tip for reading would be Judith Glaser's book, Conversational Intelligence. It's an absolutely fantastic introduction into thinking about how you increase your connection with others in conversations moment to moment. And because we have so many conversations every day, this is absolutely must-know information for all of us. I think what I'm challenged by in terms of connection is that, like a lot of people, because I run my own business, I have a lot of connections. So I think one of the things for us is to actually identify what are the valuable connections for us in our life, and who are the relationships that we need to put time and energy into. It's been great for me this last few weeks just to be away with my husband John, and we've been doing just lots of beautiful long white walks where it's just us, and we've got to spend time that is really great quality time. Because sometimes when I'm very guilty of when we're back in my workspace, and especially now that I'm working from home, of not putting 100% of attention into my conversations at home, and being distracted by Facebook or by Instagram or by LinkedIn. So I think one of the key pieces that I'd like to leave you with is decide on the relationships that you want to improve for 2018. We can be really, really busy and have too many connections. So decide which are the really critical connections for you and the healthy relationships to foster. And then, find ways to improve on those. So take some time to read something like Conversational Intelligence by Carol Dweck. So thanks, everyone. Keep up the habit changing that you've started for this year, and enjoy the rest of the program.